but we share a passion to support those who serve. Truly, to serve those who serve. So, please welcome Kelsie Sheren. Thank you.
What does the number 44 mean to you? Because to me, it signals a big problem. To me, it signals the daily suicide count by our men and women in uniform. 44, 88, 132, 176, 220, 264, 308. You get the idea. That is 1 week of death that did not need to happen. And since we started writing this presentation, there will have been 1,584 deaths since October 6th. 1,584 parents who will not walk you down the aisle. 1,584 parents who won't be at your graduation. 1,584 parents who will never be there to see their children grow. We fail more than 500,000 people every single year. Not just any people, the people you call when you need help. So what happens when you're in the worst situation of your life and there's nobody left to call? The mental health epidemic that is plaguing our veteran and first responder communities is not sustainable. So what are we going to do about it? Today, I'm here to tell you what Honor House Society is doing about it. Honor House is bridging the gaps for families when their heroes are away putting their minds, their bodies, and their spirits last for the country they serve. Now, it is our turn to serve. Welcome to Honor Ranch. I invite you to close your eyes. Picture this. You're in wide open blue sky country. You can smell the fresh, crisp air. You can hear the horses in the distance. You can feel the earth move with the ever-expanding shape of Honor Ranch. No other organization in Canada offers what the ranch can offer. Honor Ranch was created as an oasis for operational stress injuries. 120 acres of pristine beauty with a view for miles. Members of the military and first responders have a unique opportunity to heal as a community through equine therapy and peer-to-peer support. Honor Ranch is here for people like me. My name is Kelsie Sheren. I am a Canadian combat veteran, and I sustained an injury that ended with me being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I joined the Canadian Armed Forces at 18, and a year and a half after joining, my life would never be the same. I boarded a plane to Afghanistan with over 100 other people. And the weight of those decisions that I made just a short time ago, they would now be in my hands, just in the form of a rifle. I was not old enough to drink, barely old enough to vote, but the government said I was old enough to take lives. When I came home from the war, I needed a place like Honor Ranch. There was nowhere for me to turn. There was no place for a fresh-faced 19-year-old girl who hated everyone and everything. I was triggered and very unwell. Everywhere I went, everything I saw became a trigger. And when I'm saying triggered, I'm talking about my entire body, my nervous system. It took me right back to Afghanistan. The 50-degree heat the 65-pound pack, the bullets whizzing past my head, and the screams of the women and children, and the thought that every single step that I took could be my last. After my injury, they handed me 11 different types of drugs, when all I needed was a community of support and a safe place to go, a place like Honor Ranch, where I could be around like-minded people who understood what I was going through without even having to say a word. Something had to change. I had to take my life into my own hands. And with those hands, I created Brass and Unity, a jewelry company started around my kitchen table as a form of art therapy. With the vision in mind to help fund these organizations that were doing the hard work that unifies communities, the hard work that forces you to look inward, the hard work that saves lives and stops veterans and first responders from taking their own lives. How many people would still be with us if there was an Honor House Society in every province? How many people could we have saved if our veteran and first responders had a place to turn? It's clear we can no longer rely on the government to save us. The only way to save ourselves from this epidemic is to take our lives into our own hands and take responsibility for our healing. Would you guys know how to spot an invisible injury when you see one? Because you're looking right at it. Here I am. I've suffered multiple invisible injuries that took over a decade before the healing process could even begin. My traumatic brain injury, although invisible, is something that still impacts my life on a daily basis. Do you remember those different drugs, the 11? They did damage. Irreversible damage. They just didn't work for me. And that's because there are better ways for us to heal. When you use therapies like equine therapy, community support, with access to nature, it gives you a sense of belonging, a real deep connection that no medication can provide. This is why Honor House Society is so effective. You are a part of a community that provides support and healing on a deeper level. There is no expectations. We simply meet you where you're at. I chose to work with Honor House Society because they do what so many others don't. They show up for every single one of the family members. You remember those 44? How many people does just one represent? The mothers, the fathers, the children, the grandparents. It all adds up quickly. Honor House is here for all of them. And the volunteers are the ones that make that possible. There are 20 volunteers for every one of the 3 paid employees. Count it up. That's an army of over 60 volunteers that do everything from room cleaning to scrubbing toilets, landscaping, and representing Honor Ranch and Honor House in our communities. Retired service members, the single moms, the students. This house all runs because of them. Humans, this is not all glamorous work, but I promise you, it will fill your cup and it will give you a real sense of purpose. So I can hear you all thinking, how can I help? honorhouse.ca/volunteer. It's a great place to start. The gift of your time is more than enough. The gift of your time will save lives. See, at the end of the day, the goal of Honor House and Honor Ranch is to no longer need to exist. So what does that look like? It looks like children who get to grow up with their mothers and fathers. It looks like parents who get to be there to watch their children grow. It looks like a world that I and so many others have fought for. A world that too many continue to die for. So I'm asking you, how many more people need to die? Because even one more is too many. Here's what I'm asking each and every single one of you. When this is over, pick up the phone. Call a veteran and first responder that you might know and tell them about Honor House Society. Because in a world of invisible injuries, Honor House is the lighthouse in the storm. Honor House is the beacon of hope in our society. 44, 34, 24, 14, 4, 0. Now that's the world I want to live in. What about you?